I start this video with a recognition that all of the matters that we are addressing in these videos are matters where people hold varying views, where they have different influences and different experiences and different circumstances. And I recognise that these can be difficult things to talk about. But the aim of this video, whether you are part of the family at Connect Church or whether you are just inquiring, is to help you understand how we see matters from what we as the leaders of Connect Church regard as a biblical point of view and how we might work those out pastorally. This is not a detailed exploration of the topic in question. We've sought to arrive at positions and views based on Bible study, based on research and based on prayerful consideration, as opposed to going with the flow of public opinion or merely drawing upon our own or upon mainstream church traditions. And the aim is not to just give a position and leave it there, but it's rather to initiate prayer, to initiate conversations and consideration of these matters. We keep these things under review, and though the positions in this video are firmly arrived at and held, we are always willing to listen and engage in conversation, to learn, to be corrected if we have got something wrong. I want to reassure you that we deal pastorally with each person and their circumstances on an individual basis, and recognise as well that there may be a need to have a different approach, to have a different conversation perhaps, depending upon somebody's age, their spiritual maturity and their understanding of things. The topic of this video is about immigration. Now, we recognise the real challenges that exist with many people around the world displaced by war, poverty, climate change, and the crisis in our nation and others, with many refugees seeking asylum. Romans 12:13 gives the simple instruction to practice hospitality. The true meaning of hospitality is to be a friend or a lover of strangers and foreigners. Leviticus 19:33-34 gives important guidance about the attitude towards and the treatment of foreigners. They are to be treated justly and loved as we love ourselves. The reasoning for this is a recognition that the Israelites, to whom these words were written, were once slaves themselves in Egypt. Leviticus 23:22 states that foreigners are not only to be regarded and treated well, but also provided for by leaving the gleanings of fields for the picking of crops. In the New Testament, we have the parable of the Good Samaritan, where kindness and care is shown for a foreigner. We have Matthew 25, the parable of the sheep and the goats, and the merits of inviting the stranger in. This is regarded by Jesus as if it was an invitation to himself. And we remember always when we think about these things that Jesus himself was a refugee in Egypt as a young child. As Christians, we should pray for our politicians and for the officials on the ground who have to deal with challenging circumstances and have to make difficult decisions. As these matters land with us on a personal basis, we should be the hands and the feet of Jesus. We should care for the poor and the needy and the alien and the stranger, wherever and however we encounter them.